Good day everyone, I am Marian Joy Bayang from BSED-1A and today we're gonna talk about Cavite Mutiny. So, first, what is Cavite Mutiny? The Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was an uprising of Filipino military personnel of Fort San Felipe, the Spanish arsenal in Cavite, 107 Philippine Island, then also known as part of the Spanish East Indies, on January 20, 1872. Around 200 locally recruited colonial troops and laborers rose up in the belief that it would elevate to a national uprising. The mutiny was unsuccessful and government soldiers executed many of the participants and began to crack down on the burgeoning Philippines nationalist movement. Many scholars believe that the Cavite Mutiny of 1872 was the beginning of Filipino nationalism, would eventually lead to the Philippine Revolution of 1896. So what happened in Cavite Mutiny? The year 1872 is an historic year of two events: the Cavite Mutiny and the martyrdom of the three priests, Marino Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, later on immortalized as Gomburza. These events are very important milestones in Philippine history and have caused ripples throughout time, directly influencing the decisive events of the Philippine Revolution toward the end of the century. While the significance is unquestioned, what made this year controversial are the different sides of the story, a battle of perspective supported by primary sources. In this case study, we zoom in the events of the Cavite Mutiny, a major factor in the awakening of nationalism among the Filipinos of that time. Cavite Mutiny is an aim of natives to get rid of the Spanish government in the Philippines due to the removal of privileges enjoyed by the laborers of the Cavite arsenals, such as exemption from the tribute and forced labor. The Cavite Mutiny have two perspectives, the Spanish and Filipino perspectives. First, we're going to talk about Spanish perspectives. The Spanish version of Cavite Mutiny of 1872 is described by Jose Montero y Vidal. This version landed on the thesis that the event of 1872 happens due to the effort of unhappy native soldiers and laborers of Cavite Arsenal who have willfully rebelled to defeat the rule of the Spanish. The document of Spanish historian Jose Montero y Vidal centered on how the event was an attempt in overthrowing the Spanish government in the Philippines. Although regarded as an historian, his account of the mutiny was criticized as woefully biased and rabid for the scholar. Another account from the official report written by the Governor General Rafael Izquierdo implicated the native clergy, who were then active in the movement toward secularization of parishes. In the Filipino version of Cavite Mutiny by Trinidad Pardo de Tavera, this uprising among the soldiers in Cavite was used as a powerful level by the Spanish residents as by the friars. The central government in Madrid had announced its intention to deprive the friars in these islands of power of intervention in matters of civil government and of. In addition, Tavera reports that the friars and Izquierdo have used the mutiny to report a conspiracy of Filipino residents and clergy to abolish the government. The mutiny may have a number of versions from the both sides, but one this is for sure. It has been a gateway to a number of events that led to the Philippine independence in 1898. At dito nagtatapos ang aking pagsasalaysay about sa Cavite Mutiny.